So today we are going to have a small webinar. It's not a small webinar, actually, it will be a little longer webinar. Okay. But it's the first webinar okay, which we have done after a long time. Okay. And this will be conducted by Mr. Mitesh Kumar. Myself, I'm Sovet Manjani. I'm your host for today. Okay. Basically, this idea of doing this webinar came from the students. Okay, we do CMT classes in Yuba, right? So there was a lot of demand that people wanted to know how to use TradingView, right? And I'm not an expert in TradingView, but Mitesh is one of the instructors at Yuba. So he came forward and he suggested that he can do a webinar. Okay, so we decided to fix a date and based on his availability. Yeah, and here we are. Okay, so a little bit about Mitesh. Okay, he is an algo trader. I've been knowing him for last 2 years approximately. Okay, he is a CMT and a CFTe. Okay, he has a vast experience of almost 22 years in financial markets. Okay, he's an expert in building systems, quantitative strategies. Okay, he's also a financial independence coach and he's a core team member for the CMT Association Delhi coordinator. Okay, and he's been an instructor at Yuba for almost now 2.5 years. Okay, uh, he's also a chartered accountant. He did that in 2002. He also has experience in treasury and forex management, and he did his master's in business finance. Okay, and he's also a BA honors in economics. Okay, his most of his trading strategies are related to relative strength, breakout strategies, and for options he uses theta decay, basically covered calls, and for algo trading he also does it for commodity futures, basically based on range breakouts, okay, index futures and index options as well. He has also been investing, and his approach for investing is basically fundamental, okay, long-term investing. Okay, his technical analysis journey started somewhere in 2019, and in COVID, he started, and then in 2020 he enrolled for CMT and cleared it by 2023, and started algorithmic trading in 2021, and he completed CMT in 2022. Okay, all the three levels. And then he at times figured out that there are some curve fitting he has done in his models. So he evaluated all the strategies and to avoid curve fitting. Okay, so I'm not able to hear anybody. So I'll hand it over to Mitesh. Mitesh, I hope others can hear you. Okay, till that time, I'll figure out what's the issue with my PC. Okay, so you can continue, Mitesh. Thanks a lot.
Thank you a lot, Sovet. So let me just try and share my screen. Okay, perfect. I think Sovet already covered everything that we have over here. So nothing really to add, but yes, if somebody is interested in going down the path of technical analysis, I would strongly recommend you to look at CMT, cmtassociation.org. That will help you get the basics and also go to a higher level in terms of technical analysis. Your learning journey will definitely improve. So as we move forward, why TradingView and what will you get out of the entire session today? But before we go there, I just want to say I'll conduct this in English. Two reasons. That's the language that I'm most comfortable with. But we also have a lot of attendees and some people who will look at the recordings whose language is not Hindi. So having said that, why TradingView? So there are a lot of platforms which provide charting software. Your brokers have charting software. But one of the things that a lot of the platforms are challenged with is that they only work on Windows in most cases. Now, TradingView is platform agnostic. It is web-based. You also have a feature to download the application. The benefit that you have by downloading the TradingView application, it works on Mac as well as Windows, is that especially if you are using multiple screens, it will keep your charts on the individual screens that you've set up. And I typically use the downloaded version because that way, the multiple screens that I have, the charts come up every time I open TradingView directly. It allows you to trade with different brokers. Definitely all the international brokers, but also several Indian brokers now. It allows you the facility of algo trading, automatic execution. There is relatively very low latency in the data that is there on TradingView. And it has a range of free indicators, mostly built by TradingView, but there are a lot of community scripts, which means that users like you and me would have built their own scripts and shared it with the rest of the community, and everybody can use it. So we'll go through all of that as we go through the program today. You're also able to build your own indicators as well as strategies. So, if there is something that's not already available, and if you know on TimeScript, you'll be able to do that. We'll also try and understand and spend a little bit of time on the different plans that are there on TradingView. And, if you want to go ahead and do things in parallel along with what I'm doing, I think it'd be best that you either are using a laptop or a system where you can follow what I'm doing on the TradingView screen itself. So if you're listening to this or watching this on a phone, it might not be ideal. You might have to look at the recording and then go through the same things that we're doing. Uh, we will learn about the tools. We'll not spend a lot of time on the drawing tool because that is something that you will evolve and learn on your own. But we will look at something that's more complex. We'll figure out how to build watch lists. We'll look at the different chart types, intervals, indicators, the different layouts. We will also look at how you are able to replay the different bars on TradingView, which means that you can probably not look at what is there on the right-hand side of the chart up front, and then try and predict based on your own assessment what the market will be doing in the future. So that's a little bit about the basics. We'll also look at how you screen stocks. So out of the multiple stocks that you have on an index, how do you screen for the ones that meet a certain parameter? We'll look at what you can do with the Pine editor, but we'll not go deeper into that. The reason being that that is completely separate, uh, uh, a separate tutorial that needs to be there for that. And we are starting a Pine editor course that will probably start sometime end of June or beginning of July. So watch out within this channel itself to find out more about that. And then obviously we look at strategy tester, which will give you a sense of how good or bad your strategy has done in the backtest data. We look at time zones. We look at watch list. I think the other important thing is how do you download the chart data, which means any data that is there on TradingView. How do you pull that data into an Excel? And then, if you're more comfortable with Excel, then you can use some of your tools within Excel rather than doing everything on TradingView. We will also look at indicators on indicators. So people have questions on how do I look at the moving average of RSI? How do I look at a Bollinger Band on any particular indicator, not on the price itself? So that's something that we will cover. We'll look at shortcuts. I already spoke about bar replay, but we'll close with how do you do paper trading on TradingView, where you're not actually taking the trade, but you look doing that on TradingView itself, and you'll be able to see what your profits and losses are as you go through paper trading. You can connect directly with some of the brokers. I'll show you how, but beyond that, I will let you explore that functionality. For that, you'll need to have an account with the individual brokers that are connected to TradingView. I think more importantly, I've covered what we will do during today's webinar, but most importantly, what we'll not cover. And if this is something that you're looking for, and that was the only thing that you're looking for, I want you to save 3 to 4 hours of your time today. So we will not cover fundamental analysis or technical analysis. Again, that's a completely separate course. We are just talking about, whatever fundamental tools you're using or technical tools you're using, how can you implement that on TradingView? So what does RSI do? What does moving average do? That's something that we'll not cover. But how do you plot it on TradingView is something that we will. We'll not talk about strategy construction or coding in PineScript. And the most important of all, this is not a webinar that will provide you stock tips or recommendation. I feel this is something that we are doing to teach you how to fish and not give you a fish. Because if you do come into the market without the right tools, you'll not only lose the bait that you have, but hook, line, and sinker, the market will pull you down. So just be very careful that if you are stepping into the market, you have the right tools at your disposal, and that's what this webinar is for. So having said that, can you guys see my TradingView screen?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
Let me try and share it again. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So, for some of you, it might be a little basic as I start. So just bear with me because I just want to make sure that everybody who is participating today, they are able to follow through and stay with us throughout today's conversation. So for everyone, I would request you to, get to the TradingView site, tradingview.com. That's where we will start. And if you have an account, great. I think that's the best thing to do. If you do not have an account, you can use your Gmail or any of your other emails to log in and start with along with us. So, once you come to TradingView, the first thing that I really wanted to show you is what, if you go into products over here and you go into pricing, what it will show you is what is that TradingView can do for you, what are the different features, and, what is the pricing. You can take a free 1 month trial. Okay, just and typically when you sign up for the trial, you will require a credit card. Make sure that if you do not wish to continue, you take off the credit card information from your TradingView account. So now there are different plans that TradingView has, and depending on the level of plans, you can get more benefits. Suppose in the first case, you can only do 5 indicators per chart. I think on the plus plan, you can do 10 indicators, and then if you go further up, you can do 25 indicators per chart. There are different levels of benefit. You need to figure out what is it that works for you, what is it that you require, and then pick up the plan that you want. One trick that I wanted to share over here is that if you are planning to continue with, if you are continuing with TradingView, what you should do is probably for the short term, take the month-on-month plan, which is a little more expensive, but typically during the Thanksgiving holidays in the US, they come up with some discount, which typically ranges north of 50%. So if you can hold on to that time, and renew and take an annual plan at that time, you will be able to get this at a much discounted price. So I will start with a free account so that everybody is tracking with me in terms of how and what we're doing. But there will be a time where I will switch over to a paid version so that I can show you the functionalities, because everything that we discussed is not available in the free plan. Some of it is only in the paid plan. Yes, so I'm just looking at some of the comments. Praveen, we do get the recording. So everybody who's joined in today will get a link for the recording. At the same time, is there any major difference between the web version and the app version? from multiple screens? Not really. The web version, the downloaded version has the same functions as the web version. But the biggest benefit that I see when I use it for my own trading is that I don't have to every day come in and set up one chart on a particular screen and second chart on a different screen. I just open up TradingView and everything is exactly the way I want it to be. So once I set it up, I close it the same way every night. And then the next morning when I log in, everything is up there exactly on the screens that I had left it on. So, okay, so that's about the pricing and the plan. If I go over here, I'm just signing into one of the free accounts for right now. And if you're tracking with me, let's keep going. Okay, so I've signed into my account. Where I want us to go is something called super charts. Okay, so you go back into products instead of pricing. Let's go into super charts. And this is what you'll get. You might have a different index over here. Instead of Nifty, you might have something else, probably one of the US indexes, because yes, Ash, you'll have to wait till November end for the Thanksgiving plan. So till that time, do it month on month. And then in November, you can take the 60% discount. Okay, so what you need to do first is, just click on whatever symbol that you have on the top left-hand side of your screen. And, for right now, let's just pick Nifty. And for folks who are not trading the Indian market, you can pick up a market of your own. It really does not matter. We're not looking at the charts. Really, we are basically looking at all the tools that TradingView offers and how we can use that. Irrespective of the chart that you're using, you can deploy the same tools everywhere. So it really does not depend on which chart you picked up. You can pick up something that you're more comfortable with. So we'll go through everything that's there on the right-hand side over here. We'll go through what's there on the left-hand side. We'll go through some of the tools that are there on the top. And then we'll also look at what happens down below. So, let me first start with trying to help you with how do you bring a particular security or a stock up on TradingView. So the first thing and the easiest thing really is that you click on this symbol and you pick up whatever you want. So I can pick up the S&P 500, and that would be what comes up over here. I can change this to Apple, and that's a stock that will come up over here. While we'll talk about the different charts that TradingView offers, for most of my conversation today, I will stick with candlestick chart, which is the chart that you're looking at on the screen right now. So the first thing that I want to cover is how do you build something called a watch list? Okay, so if you click on the right-hand side, this tab right over here, you will see something called a watch list. Now, the watch list really is a list of the different stocks that you would want to view and take a look at every time. So there are multiple ways. Let me start with a more difficult way. If you don't have the list of all the stocks that you want, or you want to do something manually. So if I want Reliance over here, so I can just click on this button. Okay, this thing comes up, which will ask me to add symbols. I can use Reliance, I can use, okay, I can have Apple, I can have Tesla, and each of the stocks that I have will come up over here. In the free account, there's a limitation. I think you can only go up to 30 stocks in the watch list, stocks, commodities, Forex, whatever you want to. I can also do, so this is the gold spot price in US dollars. And then this is the gold futures on the MCX, which is one of the Indian commodities exchanges. So you can pull all of that over here. Now, obviously, this is a little taxing. You have to get a list of multiple stocks, and suppose you want to have an index like S&P 500, all of them listed together over here, then obviously there's a challenge. So the ideal way to do that is, let me just take you to a place from where you can get the list for Indian stocks. So I go to the NSE India website and go into market data, and I think indices. This is the one that I'm looking for. If you want all the 2000 stocks that are there, or 2000 plus stocks that are there, probably you'll need to download something called a Bhav copy. But let's stick with Nifty 50. And you can do the same thing for any of the other indices. Wherever you can get the list of stocks, you can copy that into an Excel sheet and then bring that into TradingView. So right now I'm on the NSE website. Now, the good thing is that you can download the CSV, which is basically a comma separated values that can open up in an Excel format. So let me download the CSV for Nifty 50 stocks. Okay, I've just downloaded that. Okay, it's opened up in numbers. Let me just kind of open that up in Excel. Okay, so now you have the list of symbols that you need. Okay, you don't really need any of these things. So I'll remove this from here. Now, once you're looking at the symbols that are there, this is a formula that you need to be aware of. So I'll just tell you what this is. So I put in NSE colon, okay, close, and this particular cell, which is basically the symbol. And I put another ampersand over here and a comma after that. Okay, so basically, this is within the quotes, what you have is a text format, and then you have the symbol, and then you have a comma after the symbol. So what it basically does is that it gives you the exchange that the particular symbol is trading on and a comma after that, so that you can separate the next symbol from the first one. So once you do that, you double click and get the list of all the stocks along with the index. The reason that you need to have the index along with that is sometimes similar symbols are traded across different different exchanges, and you don't know which is the exchange that TradingView will pick up.
Sir, please zooming screen.
Okay, is it better now?
Okay.
Okay. So the symbol that the formula that you need to put in is equal to, within quotes, you put the index. So it can be NYSE, it can be NSE, which is the Indian index. It can also be BSE. And you use the ampersand, you put these symbol that you want to look at, you put ampersand again. Basically, the last part is just to add the comma. So this is an Excel formula that you just need to remember. The thing that you want is the exchange, the symbol, and a comma after that. Then you double click over here. Sorry, you double click over here, and you'll get the list of all the symbols. Now, the simple thing to do is you can copy all the symbols. I'll not copy everything. I'll probably copy the first 15 because the free version of TradingView will not accept anything beyond 30. So all I do is I copy all the symbols once I've created that watch list over here, and I go back to the TradingView. Okay, so I've come back to TradingView and I come here and I paste it. It's that simple. All those symbols will come up over here. So there are multiple ways to make a watch list. You can also import it. I'm just telling you one of the ways, which is simple. If you have a list of the stocks, if I just go into NSE, I can even copy all this entire list and not necessarily download a CSV. I can take it into Excel and do the same thing that I just did, where I copied symbol names to bring it up over here. Okay, I'll give it a quick minute. If anybody has a question, if you could just put it on the chat box, just in terms of creating the watch list.
Sir, actually, if I may contribute, if you subscribe to the premium one and do this, I think everything is saved.
That is correct. Everything is saved.
Mm.
Yes. Even if it is you're not in the premium version, you are in the free version. If you've logged into an account, it will be saved. But if you are doing it without logging into your account, then it will not be. Okay.
Sir, this NSC thing, NSC column thing, which you put before the script codes, we don't see that anywhere featuring there in the watch list. I mean, is it that the TradingView has picked up from the NSC all these stocks the NSC has picked, TradingView has picked from NSC?
Yes. So basically, the reason that I put NSE is that I want all these stocks to come from NSE and
Okay.
from BSE, or if this similar symbol is being traded on any of the other exchanges. Sometimes when I've not used the exchanges, I have symbols that are traded on the Luxembourg Stock Exchange or NYSE that just come up over here, which is not exactly what I want. So it's
Okay,
always better
so
to have
okay.
the exchange along with the symbol.
Okay, so the exchange code has to be just as a prefix before the stock, and then it picks up.
Yeah, and so the exchange colon and the stock.
Okay, got it.
Okay, BSC is not suggested as the chart data comes with 15-minute delay. Yeah, good point. So I'll come to that. But somebody had a question on the Excel formula. So the Excel formula is very simple. If you can see this over here, you need to have is equal to open colon exchange. Sorry, open quotes exchange colon close quotes ampersand, whatever that symbol is, and another ampersand, and then within quotes, you have a comma sign. That basically, when you copy it into TradingView, what happens is that it will be able to separate one symbol from the other. Okay,
So can
coming
you
back,
paste it again?
all you need to do is come here and then paste the entire thing together over here. So let me just probably pick up some other stocks which I've not. So if I pick up these whatever 7-8 stocks, and I paste it, okay, those will directly come up over here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Now, there's one challenge that typically if you have an ampersand, or a dash in the symbol like you see for Bajaj Auto over here, TradingView will not pick it up. You'll have to manually put underscore auto. So it uses underscore instead of and. Okay, so I think we've run out of scripts. So let me just remove a few. Okay, so now if I need to add Bajaj Auto, it needs to come up with an underscore rather than an and. Similarly, if I have L&T, so suppose L&T financials, so instead of the ampersand, you need to use underscore. Now you can put that in a formula in Excel. I don't want to go there because again, that will make it complicated for people. But the best thing is that as soon as you see a symbol that has not been picked up correctly, you can manually just add. There'll be very few symbols in a typical index where you will face that problem. Okay, so that's about watchlist, how you create one, how you can navigate through it. Obviously, you can use all these buttons to, sort it the way you want to, whether it's based on symbols or the change. The other thing that you can also do is you can go into something called advanced view. And what it will do is it will give you some indication of what those symbols are, what is it that they're doing, how it compares. Okay, so which one is doing better than the others? So if you want to look at the 5-year movement of certain stocks, you can look at how from a starting point of 0, how each one of them has moved together, what are the sectors that they are in, etc. So it's just for a quick analysis of what are the stocks doing within that watch list. So if you have a different watch list, then it will be done differently. But for each watch list, you can come over here and take a look at the advanced view. And then you can rename your watch list. You can clear the list. You can add something called sections where, if this is on indices, I can change that to Nifty. I can have another section over here, which can say S&P and have stocks that are for those different areas. And obviously you can, name it the way you want to. think that's pretty much what is there in the watch list. And as you create more and more watch list, depending on what your plan allows you, you can keep adding to you can keep adding to what you want to do with the watch list. So with that, I'll stay with one side of TradingView and then move on to the other side so that it's easier for everybody to comprehend. We come to something called alerts. Now, what are alerts? Now, typically what happens is, let me pick up a market that is open right now. Okay, Bitcoin. Okay, and I take probably a 1 minute time frame. Okay, so what alerts do is that, you can use alerts to basically trigger information to you, basically to send you a notification, whether it is on your web-based TradingView. It can also push that notification on your mobile. For that, on the mobile, you need to have downloaded the TradingView application and logged into the same account on which you've created that alert. So if you're logged into a different account, it will not give you that alert. But if you've created this account in one of your accounts and it's the same account that's logged in on the mobile, you'll be able to get that alert. So basically, if I try and say that, okay, if I want to see Bitcoin crossing this particular price, I took this alert and I've left it over here. That's the default alert. You can go ahead and change the settings. You want notification in the app. You want to show a pop-up over here. So it's not crossed this line yet, so it's not coming up. But as soon as it comes up, you've got notification over here. If I'm logged into this account in my mobile, I'll get an alert on my mobile also. So typically the way I use it is when I go ahead and, if I'm not at my desk, I'm tracking a price of a particular security, I would place an alert. It will give me a notification on my mobile. And if I need to make any changes in terms of my trade, I'll be able to just use that. And, the notification comes up on my mobile and I can, make whatever adjustments or changes on the mobile itself. You have several functionalities over here, if it is crossing above, crossing down, whether it is less than, greater than, and then, do you want it to be done only once? Do you want it to be done every time? So every time it crosses this price over here, do you want to get an alert, or do you want to get an alert only once? So if you put only once, then once it's triggered, this will stop. But you'll still see the trigger over here. You'll see you can audit what has happened by going over here in the alerts log. So we will talk a lot more about alerts because that is also the way in which you can connect your TradingView account to your brokers. So there's something called webhook URL. We'll not go into the details of this, but all that I'm telling you is that if you were to connect your broker to TradingView, so every time there's an alert that's generated, it will go to, this is not enabled in the free account. Obviously, you need the paid version, but, and we will take a look at this. So what happens in the webhook URL is that every time TradingView throws an alert, you need it in a certain format to then push it to your broker terminal, and that is where it will get executed. So we'll talk a lot more about alerts because you can do it not only on the price, but you can also do it on an indicator. So I'm just putting an indicator for right now. Let's put in a moving average. Okay, simple moving average. Instead of 9 period, I'm just making it 2 periods so that I get a lot of triggers. Okay, and then if I now try and create an alert, it will give me an alert every time that, so instead of price, I need to select SMA, which is the moving average, crossing. So every time it is crossing, it will throw an alert. Bitcoin moving average, and then it will tell me all these things about Bitcoin and when it is crossing. So, I'll probably put once per bar every time the condition met, but not only one type, but yeah. So now once I create this, every time Bitcoin crosses or the price crosses this, it will generate an alert. So now it's crossed below that moving average, it generated an alert. I'll leave this as it is. And again, we'll see once the price crosses above, it will generate an alert. I'll move on to some of the other sections, and we'll wait for the prices to make a change. So this next window is really more about the data window, which shows you the data for that particular security. So you have the open, high, low, close. You also have the information about any of the indicators that you've added. So you can come over here. Obviously, you can also look at the data for the indicators right over here. So as soon as you add an indicator, we'll go to that again. You'll see the data over here. What is the simple moving average at this particular point of time? But what you can also do is if you've added, suppose, an RSI on this, okay, you can see all the details over here. So this is the data window. The object tree is more to do with if you're creating a line, if you're creating any other tools over here, it will give you ways to map that tool and see whether that is something that you can manipulate on the screen. So here is a lock which will prevent you from deleting it by mistake. If you don't want to see it right now because it's cluttering your chart, you can click on the button over here and we'll take that off for while you're viewing that chart. And similarly, I can do the same thing with the moving average. I can do that with the line that I just created, and that line will go away. Or I can put a lock, and till the time I remove the lock, that line will not go away, even if I try to delete everything else. That's about the data window and the yes, Anuj. So you can actually now even put an alert on the lines or any of the drawings that you make on TradingView. So you can put a line over here, and you can have an alert that says that every time the price crosses this line, you can use that alert to trigger what? Sorry, not trigger. So you can just right click on the light and add an alert. And if every time Bitcoin crosses this trend line, you will be able to get an alert. So I'm not creating this. I'll just stay with what we did for the simple moving average. The price is still below the simple moving average, so we've not received an alert yet. Once the price crosses above the moving average, then we will see the next alert coming through. So right now I'll delete the log, and once a new alert is generated, the log will come up again. Here are some default settings that TradingView has. Now, depending on the exchanges, it will show you the top gainers, the percentage gainers, etc. And you can very easily look at this and see which are the ones that are moving up or down. You can change this from US exchanges and pick up the exchange in your country. You can also change the parameters. So whether you want volume gainers to be on the top, percentage gainers to be on the top, or whichever have had a gap. So you can just select what is it that you want right from over here. And so let's talk about percentage gainers. And we'll set that up for you over here. Similarly, you can change the next one, and you can change the next one. So these are basically the ones that you want to track. Obviously you can track it through a watch list. You can also, but watch list will only give you what the stocks in your watch list are doing. But over here, it will search throughout the index and pick up all the stocks for you that are meeting a particular parameter. So you don't necessarily need to put anything into the watch list. Apart from that, this is another important aspect, which is the economic calendar. And this gives you economic calendar for the entire world. What is that the central banks are doing? When is the next Fed speech coming up? I think this is on March 8th, 17:30. So yeah, tonight. And then this is some of the data that will be published for India, Canadian exchanges, again US. Anything that is important that will impact prices. So 9th March, these are the things that are happening across the world. And because it's the weekend, probably not a lot. But if you go into the next week, then consumer inflation, Fed treasury purchases. So all this data can be tracked from over here. So there are a lot of times we want to figure out when is it that the Federal Reserve interest rates speech is coming up, and that is something that you can see directly from over here. Okay, so you can actually click on that, and you'll understand what is that that particular economic news is all about, and how will it affect the prices. So that's another thing that you can take a look at, and just be ready. If you are in a particular position, you might want to look at what economic events are happening and probably pare down your positions or probably take more positions depending on what your view is on the market. The next few items are really more about the community on TradingView. The first one really is if you've published an idea. So you can probably just pick up whatever you have, hit this button called publish. Okay, and you can actually publish the idea, and that will go to all the other people on TradingView who can take a look at it. So, it can be a private idea, it can be a public idea, but as soon as you click on the publish button on the top over here, that is something that will show up right over here under my ideas. Other people can also look at it. So typically, if you click on this button over here, idea stream, this is what other people have published. Okay, so this is, I don't even know what XRP is, but whatever that is, this person has a bullish view on that. Euro USD, whoever has published this has a bearish view on that. Similar to what they've published, you can also publish your ideas that they can see. And any idea that you've published will come up over here. Okay, and then the next one is about, somebody on Nifty showing a double bottom. If you click on this, you can actually see what is that they've spoken about. So, they've put their drawings, etc. You can do the same yourself, where you pick up any specific security that you want to, and then publish your ideas that will go to the rest of the community. And it's always better that you give a little bit of an explanation as to what your thoughts are and why that is the case. And obviously, this person has shown in terms of drawings what will happen to the Nifty based on his or her views. So please don't take it as something that you want to trade on. Please try and build your own views. Okay, let me just go back. Why this should have triggered, and I don't know why I did not, but okay, we'll let it run and see if if it doesn't generate an alert again, we might need to just see if there's something that we did not do correctly. Okay, so that's there. This box is something that's I use at times, and what it basically does is that it gives you an it basically allows you to interact with other people who are in the community. So this is basically a chat box. There are public forums where everybody is talking about it, and there are private forums. If you want to build your own community, you can build one. But let's stay with the public ones. So if you go to the bottom over here, you can see what are the different areas that people are talking about. So if you are somebody who's trading crude oil, you can click on this, and you can see what everybody is talking about. People can publish their ideas even over here, which is a specific forum for somebody who's trading oil, somebody who's trading S&P. You can click on S&P over here, and you can get a sense of what everybody is talking about. And these are other people who are on TradingView and basically talking about what's happening to the S&P and how it is moving. So that's another important thing. If you want to understand what everybody else is doing, what the view is, you also have a lot of Indian indices over here. People are publishing data on how the Indian indices will behave, and some of it is just their own views, but it just helps you understand or even track some of the news that you might have missed out on. And then this is something where people who want to share their live trading, they can actually go ahead, either watch somebody else who is sharing their videos live, or create your own videos that other people on TradingView can see. Okay, so that's more or less covers everything on the right-hand side over here. Yes, we will get a recorded video over for this one, Akash. Okay, so we've covered everything that's there on the right-hand side. I'll stop over here and see if there are questions that anybody has. Okay, so if not, I'll keep pushing ahead. So we did see what the publish button over here can do. The other thing, what is sometimes useful is that you want to take a snapshot of what your stock has done. Okay, so Bitcoin has crossed the moving average and we still did not generate an alert. So let me just see what happened and why it did not. SMA2 moving average crossing only once. Expiration on April 8th. Okay, let's just keep it as default and let's. Sometimes it's just a little bit of a lag whenever you try to create an alert. So it's still not come up, even though I've clicked on the alert. So we'll come back to the alerts again. Okay, so here you just take a snapshot. So typically if you want to publish your ideas, whether it's over here or in, in a forum like this, the way people publish these ideas is by basically using this camera button over here. Take a snapshot of what they have on the chart. So I can have lines, I can put my indicators, I can put comments, and all that will be captured. How to get AFAN? I'm not sure I understood the question, Ankit. If you could elaborate that a little bit. After that, you can go into a full screen mode where all these other things that are there will go away, and you can only just see the chart. Let's get out of this. Okay, so then you have something called chart settings. Now this is something that's cosmetic, but it helps if you want to see your charts in a particular manner. What is the color of the candles? Typically, I would keep it as default, but but you can try and change that if you want to. Now, what does this mean? So the symbol over here on the status line, this is the status line on the top left-hand side. If you get rid of the logo, you will not be able to see this B sign over here, which is the Bitcoin logo. If I click on this, it will come up. You can remove the title. So you'll not be able to see what is the instrument that is there. You can still see the instrument right over here. But if you click on this, you can change anything that is in the status line. If you want volumes to come up, you can see the volume that is there for that particular, we are currently on a 1 minute chart. So you can see the volume that is there for that each minute. You can also put in the last day's value and how much that has changed. Okay. And then you can also look at the indicator titles, whether you want to keep them over there or not, and whether the indicator values need to be there or not. So that's what the status line would be. Basically, cosmetic changes that you need on the chart is something that will come up over here. You can show the currency, which is always visible. Sometimes you can remove it if you don't want to see the currency. You know exactly what is the currency that you're trading on. Probably just stay with a few of these. Yeah. Do you want the day of the week label? How is it that you want your time and month formats? So those are things that you can change over here. Again, this is really down to your personal preference. How do you want to take a look at that chart? Just below the symbol names. Just below the symbols names. Okay. Yeah. Good point. We'll cover that. And then we have, canvas. Do you want the background to be solid? If I want it to be a different color, I can change that. I can change the grid lines. Do I want those grid lines or not? How do I want the crosshair, etc. to be? And the top margin, how much do you want those margins to be, and whether you want to change that. So how much from your current price, how much do you want the top margin to be? How much do you want the bottom margin to be? So if you increase the bottom margin, then it will leave a lot of white space below or above the margin that below and above the price that you're trading at. Okay, then on trading, do you want buy and sell buttons? So typically over here, you will have buy and sell buttons. So do you want those buttons? If you don't want to trade through your TradingView chart, you want to trade through your broker, then you would want to remove that. Okay. Okay, so it's more like buy and sell button that come up over here. Then you can place orders on your TradingView chart itself if you have connected to a broker. And if you have this button unchecked, then you cannot place orders immediately. You have to go through a screen which will help you place the orders. And we'll come to that once we're doing the paper trades. So if there is any position that is connected with TradingView, you can see the position profit and loss. Again, this is something that will be applicable when you've taken a position through TradingView on your broker platform or a paper trade. You can look at the orders, you can look at the profit and loss, all that right over here on the TradingView screen itself. And what else? Yeah, and then you can look at events, economic events, ideas. Let me just take a different chart, and I think I'm still struggling with the alert on this one, but let me just go to gold. Okay, now over here, if you have the news, economic events, etc., this symbol over here will come up, and you can just click on that symbol and see what's happening, what is that other people in the community are talking about for gold. So if you don't have that checked, then you'd not be able to see that. So you come here, and if you do not have the latest news and minds, then this symbol over here will go away. Similarly, there's something called contract switch. Okay, so if you do not have contract switch enabled, what will happen is that, let me go to a 1 day. So over here, for people who are trading on the futures market, the contract has switched from February to March. So this is the day that the switch happens. So you just need to be aware, especially if you are holding a position in that particular contract. For commodity especially, it is a physical delivery. So you will need to provide an additional margin for physical delivery of the gold that you've purchased or the gold that you're selling. And similarly for all the other commodities. So typically most of the Indian brokers, they will cancel out your contract before the contract switch date, because otherwise you will have to take physical delivery, which most of the traders, who are working with the brokers do not want that. So you need to be registered as somebody who's actually dealing in that particular commodity to be able to take a contract to expiry and either physically sell or buy that particular commodity. Okay, Shubham, I'll just check that again. What are the blue and red values in the rectangle? So these blue and red values are, the prices at which basically bid and ask prices. So typically, if you see even on your broker platform, you'll see the bid and ask prices. Where is it that we have sellers? Where is it that we have buyers? And this is basically the bid and ask prices of that particular commodity. So gold futures right now, the Indian commodity market is closed. So you do not have any number that's coming up over here. Okay, and you can see this, this particular symbol over here that shows that, it's a holiday. And typically, it's updated every 5 seconds. How to hide the indicator name? You come over here, and I think on the symbol, on the status line, I think it was on the status line, right? If you select remove this, you can remove the name of this scales and lines canvas. No, not on trading. I think the symbol itself. Yeah, so you go to status line, you go to indicators, and then you can remove the titles. Now this will only remove the title. The best way to remove an indicator, or you keep the indicator, hide it from here, is you can come here and click on this hide button. If you hide button, then it will go away. The other way is that if you have multiple indicators over here, so suppose SMA, if you have, so you have different indicators. Now you want to remove all of them. You can just click this button over here, and all of them will go away. It will still show you that there are two indicators that are running on this chart, but they will not be visible to you. Okay, any other questions? Okay, perfect. So that's about the settings. This is just in terms of a quick search if you need to pick up a particular drawing tool. So if you want a line, or if you want moving average. This is typically a search tool and function for drawings, function, and settings. So okay, so typically it's mostly for drawings. It should also give you all the functions, but not the indicators. So if you look at suppose, so if you look at fib retracement, if this is the tool that you want to use, instead of trying to figure out where it is on this toolbox, you can just go to the search and pick it up from there if you know exactly what you're looking for. So that more or less takes care of this portion. Now over here, what you can do is you can put a name. So right now your chart is unnamed. You can name it to say, okay, webinar, and I'll save it. Okay, and then this will change. Now, if you are in a paid version, then you'll have the ability to have multiple layouts. And the benefit when you have multiple layouts is that I can have probably SMA, EMA, MACD in this particular version of the chart. I can have a different layout that talks about an Ichimoku cloud, that talks about RSI, or something else. So if I'm trying to look at different kinds of charts, there are different indicators that I want to plot. One of the ways to do it is to make sure that I have different charts that I can pick up. And then, I'm able to work with that chart data and that same layout every time. So I don't have to start and keep plotting new indicators every time. I can just go ahead, pick up a layout, and that layout will have those specific charts. I think in the free version, you just have one layout, so we can't really add any other layout. Let's see if we can. Okay, so yeah, you can't. So in the first plan the first plate plan, you can have 5 different chart layouts that you have. Then this is another thing, and I think again, this is something that I'll have to show you once we get to the paid version. So let me stop over here. Yes, and a good point. So if you do not save this, which means if you do not save the layout, then all these will go away. So every time that you make a change, so suppose if I delete this and delete this, you will see this button called saved over here. Save over here. Now you need to click this for the chart layout to be saved. Okay, so as soon as I click this, the chart layout is saved. Every time I open this layout, it will come up with the same indicators that I have. Okay, any questions till now? Can you please log out after saving and log in again? Yes, if you've saved it, you can log out, go into a different account. Once you come back into this account, it will be saved again. The save layout disappears when we log in again. No, the save layout does not disappear when we log in again. It will stay. The alert may not be buzzing as we have. Okay, so we'll take a look at that alert again. Normally you get a pop-up saying whether you need to save the changes. Yes. So when you're exiting, if you've not saved and you're still seeing the save button over here, you will get a prompt from TradingView saying that you need to save all your work before you exit that particular chart layout. Can you show how to manage watchlist effectively? Search to additional tools not visible on the left corner. Okay, please repeat the object tree and the data window. So let's quickly go over here. And after this, we will go on to the paid version, and then we'll see some more features. Okay, So, the object tree and data window. So right now, what you have in front of you on the chart, I'll remove this session break. This session break is basically canvas. Big lines, bottom up. Okay. So these are
Events, event.
sorry, go ahead.
It is in the events, sir.
Events. Okay, session breaks. No. Oh, okay. So sorry, these are contract switches. Thank you. Okay, perfect. So go ahead. Okay, so now what you have over here is just the price and the candlestick on the prices. Now, what you see on the data window over here, let's first talk about the data window, that we'll go to object tree, is basically all the data points that are relevant for wherever you place the cursor. Okay, so if the cursor is on this red bar over here, it will show you the open, high, low, close. You can also see it on the top over here, but sometimes it's just better because the data window gives you a lot more information. You can see it for that particular price, but you can also see it for all the indicators together over here. So we'll very quickly see that. So this is the data window. You have gold and all these information. You can have MACD. Okay, now as soon as you put in MACD, it will show you what is the MACD histogram, what is the signal line doing. And as you move across the bars, okay, so as your cursor moves from one bar to the other, these data points will keep changing. At any point of time, you will be able to see exactly what is the data for that particular bar. Now, if I go to the object tree, right now we have these two objects. One is the price, one is an indicator. So it will give you the ability to manipulate both of them. So one is you can hide this completely right from here. You can hide the gold bar itself. You don't have any of the price bars on gold, and you only have the moving average at the bottom. So if you want, you can probably increase the size of this, and you don't really want to see the price. You just want to figure out how the MACD is moving and what it is doing to the to gold. Then you can remove the prices, and you can only look at the indicators. So that's what the data window, the object tree does. And what it also helps you with is that, suppose, I have all these different lines that I've constructed. I don't want this to be there. I just want to look at a clean graph. Then what I can do is either switch them off for my view, or what I can do is, I can individually look at each of the lines. So I can remove one of them and then look at just this line. I can lock them. So if I've locked this particular line, if I try to delete the rest of it will be deleted, but this one will not. Okay, so I'll have to first unlock it. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, if I should not, let me delete that. Yeah, if I unlock it, okay, so basically the lock is, sorry, I can't move it from here elsewhere. So even if I try to move this, I'll not be able to move this particular line. So if I want to lock that line in place, I can lock it from here, but I can still delete it if I have to. So that's what the data window as well as the object tree is all about. You can individually manipulate all the items that are there on the chart. The other way, and I'll probably spend more time on that as we go there, is that if you have all these different lines that you've plotted on the chart, there's another way. If you come to the left hand side, which we will come to, you can click on the arrow next to this eye that's been made over here. You can hide the drawings, which will only hide the drawings. Okay, so any chart lines, any other drawings that you've made on the chart, it will hide that, but all of it will be hidden together. So you can't choose one drawing to hide or the other drawing to hide. But with the data window, sorry, with the object tree, you can hide each individual drawing. Okay, so that's one difference. And then over here, you can use this to hide all indicators also. So right now we have MACD. I can also put an RSI. And what will happen is that if I hide all the indicators together, then it will hide all the indicators. It will leave the drawings on the screen. But from over here, I can remove individual indicators as well as drawings. So that's the difference between the data window, between the object tree and what this function over here can do. It can also hide all of it together. You'll just get a clean chart, which you can take a look at, and then you can recover all of the drawings that you had or the indicators that you had just by clicking on that button. Object tree will show what all stuff you have on the bar, being drawing or indicator. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so that takes care of all this. With that, let me just move on to the paid version so that we can go into more details of some of these things. Any other question that anybody has before I move on? Okay, perfect. So I've created a dark version on this, which I like, but let me try and see if the light version is something that makes more sense. Okay, perfect. So this is a paid version, and I think, yeah, this is a premium version. So you will get a lot more features that you can use. Now, this is something that I've created for the webinar, but I have a lot of other templates that I can pick up and probably, if I look at something like this will give me the different GAN levels that are there on Nifty that has been plotted long time back, but that's just one of the ways I use it. It's not necessarily the way you'd want to use it. There's another stock layout that probably, if I want multiple time frames, so this is a stock, or I can use multiple time frames. So HCL Technologies, I can probably change that to any other. Now, this is a layout that I've saved where I can see this is the monthly chart, this is the weekly chart, this is the daily chart. I can see all of it together. So the thing that we were not able to do was this thing where we were only able to see one chart on a particular screen. But over here, with the paid version, I can have multiple charts on a single layout. So I can have this as a monthly chart. Over here, I can use these tabs to then figure out what is the right configuration that will help me visualize this better. So I can click over here, and now I have 4 different charts. Okay, now I can come here. I can, if I remove the symbol from here, what will happen is that I can have different symbols in each of these charts. So let's see TCS over here. I can have Infosys. I can have Infosys over here. I can have Reliance, and I can probably have Nifty. Okay, but if I keep the symbol, what will happen is that whatever chart is selected, like this chart is the one that is selected, the Nifty chart, which is in blue at the bottom. If I select this, then all the other 3 charts will become the Nifty chart. Okay, so let's do that and see. So automatically all of them went back to Nifty. The second is interval. So let's change this again. TCS, NC, Reliance. Now I have different charts on all of them. If I want to do any kind of analysis where I want to use different charts on each one of them, then I can use that. Now, the other thing is that if you are able to notice, this 1 month over here shows 1 month for TCS. This is 1 day for Infosys. This is 1 week for Reliance. And this is again 1 month for NSE. Now, you can have all of them different, or if you click on interval, again, it will pick up the interval of the chart that is highlighted and put that interval for all the other charts. So if I select Infosys, which is on 1 day interval. I can come over here and select this. All the other will change to 1 day. After that, if I change to 1 hour, all the other charts will come to 1 hour. So basically what this is doing is making sure that whatever you're changing in terms of interval on one chart is the same interval that you'll see on all the other charts also. Okay, so if you remove it, then you can have separate time frame. So I can have a 5-minute time frame on this chart. I have a 1 hour, 1 hour time frame over here. I can change this one to 1 day, and I can change this one to 1 week. So now again, I'm telling you how and what can be done on TradingView. How do you want to use it? Whether you want to use a longer term time frame, whether you want to trade on a 5-minute chart is something that I'll leave up to you. But this is the way. If you are using a paid version that allows you four different charts in each layout, then you can manipulate your chart based on the way you want to take a look at it. And then this will basically make sure that the time is synchronized. The time, can you see multiple stock and multiple layouts? Yes, you can. You just need to remove the sync and then add the charts over here. And the other question that somebody had was, let's see. So, if I want separate charts over here, so I can have one chart for Nifty, I can just select it from my watch list. So if I have a watch list over here, I can select different charts. This is for Nifty, Bank Nifty. Over here, I can put gold. And over here, I can just select that chart and click on whatever I want from the watch list. So that's the way it will come up over here. So you don't necessarily need to always type the name of the commodity or the index that you're trying to track, or even the stock that you're trying to track. If you have a watch list that's been prepared, then you can just use that watch list. And let's stay with Nifty 50 watch list over here. Yeah. So you can probably just put any of the items from the watch list right over here. So that's the other thing that you can do. So that is about all these. How do you use these multiple charts? What happens when you're trying to sync it versus not syncing it? If you want the time to be synced, or if you want the date range to be synced. And then this is the crosshair. Basically, if you look at the chart, the crosshair on this chart on the right is the same place, is at the same place at the same time on all the other charts also. If I move my crosshair over here, it will move on all the other charts. I can choose not to select it, and then I can only have crosshair on one chart, and all the other ones would work independent of that. And then obviously I need to save my time frame. If I don't save it and I refresh my chart, it will go back to where we started. So let me just try and do that. I've not saved my chart. We've made a lot of changes, but I'm not saving it. Let's see what happens if I refresh it. Okay, it will give me this prompt. I can cancel and go back and save, but I'm not doing that. So if I reload this particular page, it will take me back to where I started. Okay, so this is where we started off from. This is a version of the chart that was already saved, and it will bring me back to that particular point of time. Okay, so that's about multiple time frames. How do you put different chart layouts? How do you rename it? Do you want to autosave? That is one functionality that you have. Okay. So how you do an save? If you want to share something, you can share it within the community. And then also how you export the chart layout. Export the chart data. So let's stay here and let's look at chart data. We will put some indicators over here. Let's put what else? Put an average true range, RSI. Okay, perfect. I think we have enough. Now, what I want to do is, instead of using TradingView for my analysis, what I want to do is I want to capture all this data in an Excel sheet and then work on that Excel sheet based on what information TradingView is sharing. So all I need to do is come over here, go to this button called Export Chart Data. As soon as I do that, what it will do is it will ask you for the timestamp, and I typically keep Unix timestamp. It will not show you in terms of date and time, but there is a conversion factor. I don't remember it from the top of my head. We can just Google it and see what is the factor to convert Unix time into an Excel timestamp. You export that, it will come up as a CSV file. And again, the same way we did it for our initial discussion on the different chart symbols, we can use Excel to now open this particular data. It's a CSV file, so it will open directly in Excel. I don't want to convert it right now, but basically what you can see over here is that it has a time. There's a conversion factor that we'll have to use in a formula to come up with the Excel timestamp. But you have the open, high, low, close. This is the data that we saw on the chart. What is the moving average at this particular point of time? What is the MACD histogram? The MACD line, signal line. What was the ATR value? So all that can come up in Excel. And then depending on what you want to do with it, you can put your own formulas. You can run macros on Excel to see how the data is behaving. You can run your analysis. And then, you moved away from TradingView into an Excel format. If that is something that you're more comfortable with, you can export all the data into Excel and then try and manipulate that. And over here, you'll see which is the symbol that you've used the data for. Can we compare more than two symbols for the same indicator side by side? So we'll come to that. Okay, so any questions on exporting the chart data?
Sir, on the layout, I have a question on layout.
Where?
Sir, is there an option where if you change the chart layout, like if you load a new layout, the watch list also changes according to that? Can you link both of that?
No, the watch list will remain, for, whatever watch list you've selected. Okay. Okay, it does change. Okay. So over here, if I go back to, no, it's still the same. It's yeah. So I don't think the watch list changes, but yes, what you can do is if you're using the app and you're using it on Windows or on Mac, then the app can have different watch lists in different windows that you're using. So you don't necessarily need to change the watch list every time. So if you have 2 or 3 watch lists in different windows, then you can use that watch list directly. So you don't need to necessarily change the watch list every time.
Okay, sir.
If you're able to export data, why do professional traders buy data from vendors? Because the data that you can export is typically historical data. Okay, so even if you take a 1-minute data, okay, so yeah, people buy historical data also, and the reason that they buy that is there is a limitation in terms of the number of bars that TradingView will give you. Okay, so this is till March 2016. If I take the Nifty, if I just take the daily bars and I go back in time. Okay, now right now it's giving me data all the way till 94, if I'm not mistaken, 95. Okay, and then there are some of these things. Let me just change the color theme and go dark on this. So you can see some of these dot plots over here, where they do not have OHLC data, which is open, high, low, close, but they just know the closing prices of what Nifty had done all the way from 1991. And then since 1995, they have the open, high, low, close data. Now, when you're seeking data from a vendor, you'd probably need a 5-minute interval or a 1-minute interval or even a 1-hour interval. Now, as soon as I click on 1 hour, okay, what happens is that if I keep going left, it does not give me data for the same duration that comes up on the daily data. Because I'm using the paid version, it's giving me more data points, but that data is only till about till 10th January 2012. So the reason is that it will only show you a number of bars. So if you need data, hourly data from beyond this date, then TradingView would not give you that information. Or if you go into the 3-minute time frame, or let's even go into the 1-minute time frame. Okay, if I go into the 1-minute time frame, the number of bars that TradingView will give you is the same, but wherever that bar finishes is the data that you'll get. You'll not get data beyond that particular point of time. So if you need 95 data on the 1-minute bar, so this one is over by the 18th of December 2023. And this is on the 1-minute bar. So it will just give you a certain number of bars, and that you can go and check in the plan. But wherever that bar ends, that's the data that you'll get, and that's the data that you can download from TradingView. So if you need a 1-minute data, TradingView will probably not even complete 1 year worth of data. If you need daily data, yes, TradingView is good enough for you to give you the daily data all the way back to 1995. But most of the time when you're buying data from a vendor, you are looking at probably even tick by tick data or 1-minute data. Okay, so that's
one question, Mitesh.
yeah.
Mitesh, can we get multiple scripts data at one time together, or we have to download each data individually for each script?
You will be able to get the data on whatever is there on that particular chart. I haven't tried getting multiple scripts data. Let me just try over here. Okay, so there's Nifty on top, and I can have Bank Nifty at the bottom, and let's see what happens. Okay, no, it's only selecting the chart that, you can only select one chart at a time. So you'll still be able to download the data, but it will be in different files.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, and then you can always use Excel to merge the data. So I don't think that should be a challenge. Based on the time settings, you can use the time setting to match the data between Nifty and Bank Nifty or whatever other security that you want to look at. Okay, if there are no questions, then I'll keep moving forward. So we've completed this. We've come up till over here. For what export data is used to, So export data is typically used for you to take a look at any strategy that you want to build. That's the way I use it at least. So I typically make sure that I export the data, look at what what I can do with it in Excel, and then try and build it into a program on TradingView. Shubham, go ahead.
Sir, you said that TradingView is giving us only 1 year of data when we go to 1-minute time frame. So if
Yes,
you
definitely.
backtest, you cannot. If you want to backtest on 1-minute time frame, you cannot backtest more than 1 year's data.
Correct. So there is a provision when once we go to backtest, I'll show you where there's something called deep backtest, which will give you some additional data points. So that again is only available in the premium version. So basically, what deep backtesting does is that it gives you some additional data points beyond what the normal plans will give you. So if you're using a 5-minute or not 5-minute, anything more than 15-minute to an hour time frame, then it gives you backtest data for several years. But yes, if you go to a 1-minute time frame, you'll not get enough data for you to have a proper backtest.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so okay, so we probably halfway into the webinar. Kumar, go ahead.
Yeah, Mitesh, I would like to know whether we can add multiple scripts to the multiple watches at a time. So say if you are selecting 4 scripts, it can be shown in multiple layout from watchlist for screening purpose.
Yeah, I'm still trying to understand your question. So you want to suppose this is the layout that I have.
Yeah.
So I
I would like to see from Kotak Bank, ICICI Axis, and Bajaj in this 4. Can it is this possible, or we have to add it manually only by clicking it?
Yeah, you'll have to manually add each of the scripts, but all you need to do is to go to that particular chart and click.
Oh.
Okay, so I have ICICI, Kotak, HDFC, and Axis Bank over here.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and depending on what you've selected over here, those things will be synced. So if you select a symbol, then you can only use one symbol. If you selected interval, then it will only give you one interval. Okay, so that
Mitesh, you showed us how to export data. Is it possible to import data? And if you have data that you want to chart that's not available in TradingView?
no, there isn't a way to import data into TradingView. You can only export the data. Typically, the data feed comes directly from the exchanges. Okay, and somebody did mention earlier in the chat that we should not be using BSC because BSC data is delayed. So if you actually look at it, NSC data is real time, MCX data is real time. So if you are trying to trade anything that's on NSC, you will see, I think because markets are not open today, because typically you'll see a D symbol over here, which will show you that the data is delayed by 15 minutes. But because it's a holiday today, it's not showing up. But typically, if you pull up Sensex or any BSC stock, you will see a D signal, right over here, or a D written right next to all the Sensex stocks, and that is not something that you would want to use for trading. Yes, you can buy real-time data even on Sensex, for which you'll have to pay additional for TradingView. BSC has more data points in many stocks. Yes, BSC obviously will have more data points because that's an exchange that's been there for much longer than NSE. Okay, so let's stay with this now. Let's take a look at what this bar replay is all about. Okay, so we've done all these. Let's look at bar replay. Now, what is bar replay? Now, I want to figure out what my view is on the market. I can probably say that, okay, I want a simple moving average strategy. And every time the market moves above this 9-day, I will buy, and every time it moves below, I will sell. But I'm not sure how that would work in the market. So I click on this, which is bar replay. I can come anywhere on this chart, and as soon as I click, it will remove everything on the right-hand side. And typically, whenever we are trying to trade, that is the thing that we want to anticipate. So what you can do is, once you have all the bars on the right-hand side gone, and you can do it on any time frame. I'm using the daily time frame. You can use, an hourly time frame. You can use a 5-minute time frame to test the same thing on intraday charts. So you come over here. I think we are on August 21. And then you can click over here, and it will automatically generate the next bar. And over here, probably if I've taken a buy signal, I'll stay with the buy signal and then wait. If the prices go below this, then I will sell. And manually, if I need to do a manual backtest, I can use this. I can also use this to see whether the conviction that I have in the market, based on what I've seen in the past. Let me just pause this. Based on the conviction that I've seen in the past, what is the trade that I want to take, and whether the strategy that I'm deploying, this is just one of them. I can probably add another thing. And all of them come up over here. Let me just plot volumes. Oh, sorry, this is an index. So let me just change this to futures, because it doesn't have volumes. The index does not have volumes. So we're back to square one. Let me just use bar replay again and go back to a random point in the past and see what I want to do. Okay, so the date over here is 21st of July. Sorry, July 21, and 5th July 21. And now, my price is below the moving average. On this date, probably closed above the moving average. RSI is going down, volume is going down, MACD is going down. I figure I'll take a short trade, and then I run this to see what the markets have done after that. Okay, and whether my trade was something that I would exit at a stop loss, or I would want to continue with the trade. And you can do it bar by bar. You can stop it over here. You can change the speed, etc. But this is something that really helps you if there is something new that you want to try and you're just starting off. If you have the bar replay, you can even use the buy and sell buttons over here to actually show and actually take those trades in a paper trading environment. So suppose I've taken a buy trade over here and this I've run this. I'm already in a profit. I can flatten it over here, and I've sold. And here my here my profits and losses are being tracked. So if I do a sell over here and I'm already in a loss, and then I exit that sell, and I can hit a buy button again over here. If that's what the signal that I've taken, I can probably flatten this position out after I've made a little bit of profit, and I think everything's overbought, and this is when I take a sell signal. So all that is something that you can track over here, and then you can see based on the signals that you're getting, are you able to clearly figure out what you'd want to trade and how the markets have moved based on all the patterns that you're seeing, whether you're using RSI, MACD, moving average, you're looking at divergences, or whatever tools that you're using to take your trade, you can do a manual backtest through just using the bar replay function. So that's another thing that you can use. Any questions on bar replay? How do
Yes,
you buy
Mitesh.
sorry, there's a question. How do you buy data for TradingView? You actually go to the pricing and plan. You can go to your account section over here, and it will have a section for you to buy a specific data that TradingView makes available. Go ahead.
Mitesh, this bar replay, when you are calculating the profitability, can we get the output in a Excel or in a CSV file, or it's just showing here only? That's it.
I've never tried
So
that.
each buy and sell data, can we get it in CSV or something?
Let's see if it comes up. I have not tried it because I typically just go ahead and code that thing, and I get a different way to pull the data. Let's see if that comes up. Don't convert. Okay. Histogram, MACD, lower Bollinger Band. No, you do not get the buy and sell signals from over here, but there is a way you can get the buy and sell signal, which we will cover as soon as we go to strategy. So if you put a strategy, so I'll just probably pull up one of the strategy that I use. So suppose this is something that I've done on copper. Now, once you've coded that into PineScript, once we go to indicators, I'll show you more. But you can see the list of trades where the buy and sell signals have been taken and the performance summary. So we'll come to this one, but let's complete any other questions that we have on bar replay. So bar replay data does not come up, but there are different ways to get the buy and sell signal data.
Sir, I have a doubt. So in the bar replay data, can we do it on the multiple screen, like looking the correlation for the two securities?
Yes, you can. So if you probably do this, and I have, so if I have Nifty over here, and this is on a 30-minute chart for Axis Bank. So let me just do this. Time range and interval. Okay, so I've synced the time range and interval. And now if I do a bar replay, okay, it's on one and I can't do it on the other. So this is on March 7th, and this is, no, I think you can only do it on one.
Okay.
Okay, and I think that's the key to learning, folks. The thing that what I'm sharing with you, I want you to go back and explore. And this is just the basics of what TradingView is and what the tools can do. Whatever is something that you like, something that you fancy, something that you feel that will help your trading, go ahead and explore that more and more, because that's the only way to get ahead in trading. You need to master one or the other tool, whatever that is. As long as you're good at it, you're able to get all the information that you want, you'll be able to get the kind of output that you want from your trading.
Sir, and one more doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So can we add the indicators while backtesting in this?
Yes, you can add indicators for backtesting, and I'm just coming to that. Okay, so so now these what you see over here is something that's there in the paid version. I will remove some of this and basically tell you what this is. Okay, so now this is typically the way you will see your chart or your trading view. There's nothing over here. So the paid version allows you to save something called an indicator template. So we saw how we saved a chart template. The indicator template basically can be used on any chart, but all that it saves are the different indicators. So if I plot MACD, if I plot ATR, if I plot super trend, okay, whatever I plot, I can then go ahead and save this as an indicator template. Let's say, okay, so this is the name that I've given. I can ask it to remember the symbol. I can ask it to remember the interval, or I can leave it. So whenever I choose this indicator template, it will pull up the same indicators for the chart that I have. So if I don't select symbol, if I don't select interval, then any interval or any symbol that I have on the chart, that's where it will come up. So I'm saving this. Now suppose I've deleted everything. Okay. And I have chosen, suppose Bank Nifty. If I choose that indicator template, so that was something called TV webinar. Okay, now TV webinar will automatically bring up all those indicators that I've listed over here. Okay, now I can choose to delete it again. Okay, I select, suppose, Sensex. I go from 30 minutes that I was at to 1 day interval. Okay, so what happens? Now I don't have anything, but I want to use the same thing that was there, same indicators. I go to TV webinar, and then all of that comes up again. But over here, it's not changed the time frame. It stays with the time frame. It stays with Sensex. So it does not change the instrument. It does not change the time frame. Now, if I use the same indicator template, okay, so I'll overwrite this one, TV webinar, and I'll ask it to remember the symbol and remember the interval. So Sensex, 1 day, I save it. Okay, so it will ask me whether I need to overwrite it or not. So now this is what I want to see every time I click on TradingView webinar. Okay, so I can remove everything. Okay, I can probably even open up a different template. So if I say Bank Nifty gap fade, this is one of the ones that I've used where it is showing me on a 5-minute time frame for Bank Nifty, just the opening 5-minute range and when do I need to enter and exit. Now, that is one of the templates, but now I want to see what is happening on Sensex. So as soon as I hit TV webinar, it will bring up the same indicators, but only for Sensex because I saved the instrument and I saved the interval. So on a daily time frame, what is happening with the Sensex? So, I can change that. So suppose if I want gold, and I remove all the indicators. I want different indicators for gold, but on a 1 hour time frame. So I have, so suppose I put a strategy and not an indicator, and I'll talk about strategy and indicators separately. So this is something that comes up over here. And I have, suppose, Ichimoku Cloud. Okay, so this is an Ichimoku cloud, for some of you who are using it or who are aware of this. So let's see, save indicator template as TV. Okay, and if I select the symbol and the interval, now here's what happens. Every time I go to TV webinar and just select the first one, it will bring up Sensex, it will bring up the 1-day time frame, and will bring up the strategies that we kept over there. Not the strategies, but the indicators that we kept over there. Every time I select the second one, which is TV webinar gold, it will bring up gold and all that I have. So I don't have to, every time I want to see gold and how it is doing compared to the Ichimoku cloud, I don't have to always go back and forth. I can just select that and it will bring up exactly what I want. So that way I have several different things that I've plotted, and every time I want to just see copper, I probably just click on this and it will give me exactly what I want to see on copper. And similarly, if I want to see something else on, suppose, crude, I can just take a look at that and see what crude is doing on different parameters, or if I want to look at it, Bollinger Band mean reversion. So I will plot a Bollinger Band on this. That's what this is for, the indicator template. Now we're coming to something very important, but before that, let's take any questions. Okay. So we're coming to indicators, which probably is important in terms of the fact that a lot of you be using it. What I'll tell you is how to find the right indicator over here. The usage of each of those indicators and how you'll be able to put a strategy around it is something that we'll not cover, but I'll let you, the entire thing about which indicators to use, when to use it, what is the best indicator is a completely different stream in itself. And, I think all of us who are in the trading community are still learning the different ways to use things. So I'll skip that part, but I'll tell you how to find the right one for you to pick up. So you click on this button over here, you figure out what is the indicator that you want to use, and then you can just plot it on the graph. So you have favorites that I've selected for myself, but you can also have my scripts, which are the ones that I have coded myself, different ones. Technicals are the ones that are provided by TradingView. So, these are ones that are provided by TradingView. You can directly look at those indicators, figure out what you want to put in. If you want to put in Bollinger Band, you can select it from here. Or if you want to search for something, you can use that in the search bar. So EMA is one of the indicators. You can click on this. And again, wherever you see my scripts, these are the ones that I have coded. Wherever you see community scripts, which we'll come to, it is basically somebody else who has coded it, and this is the user ID of the person who's coded it, and that's what is coming up over here. You can use the ones that are provided by TradingView. You can use the ones that you've done yourself, or you can use the ones that somebody else has coded. See what works for you. The good thing about TradingView is that it does provide you with a lot of the indicators that the community has helped build. Now, the good thing is that the community is typically ahead of the latest developments that's happening in the financial field, and they're able to code a lot of things or probably mix and match things that TradingView might not do on their own. So it's always nice to see what is that is happening in the community, and then see what are the tools that you can use. Then there are also financial indicators. Now, obviously, there's no financials for Nifty. Let me just pick up a stock. So it's not coming up, but so let's take Kotak Bank over here. And then you have financial indicators. So you can look at total revenue. It will come up at the bottom and it will show how the total revenue has moved quarter on quarter whenever they publish the results. So at the bottom, you can see that. You can look at net interest income, whatever is relevant for you. You can look at net profits. You can look at operating income, whatever financial parameters you want to see. That's what comes up over here based on what you select. You can look at basic EPS. You can look at What else? You can look at the balance sheet items. You can look at the cash flow. You can look at some of the stats, which are dividend yield, number of employees, number of shares outstanding, market cap for that matter. All that will come up at the bottom of here. So the way to use it really is figure out what is that you want. Whether you are somebody who is more of a fundamental person or you're somebody who's more technical, figure out the kind of tools that you want to use, and all that can be plotted right over here. And then obviously there are community scripts. These are scripts that are provided by other users like you and me, and they've published it for everybody else to use. So you can have a script that TradingView gives you. You can also have a script that anybody else has provided. There's this person who's provided something to do with GAN, and TradingView typically picks up some of the good ones based on editor picks. You can look at some of the top indicators and the ones that are trending. Again, you'll need to know what is it that you're using, why you're using it, but you'll be able to find that in TradingView right over here. So that's about indicators. Now, there are two things that you'll see over here. So you have indicators and you have strategies. Now, the difference between indicator and strategy, yes, we'll come to repainting, and I'll probably not talk about so much about repainting over here. The reason being that it is something that is to do with building strategies, and once you're building strategies, it's important that your data is not repainted. So basically, what repainting means is that once the bar closes, the entry and exit price changes when you are using the indicators on this particular chart. So typically, in a lot of the community scripts, you will face that challenge if somebody is not coded correctly. What it will do basically is the numbers that you're seeing in the backtest would not be the actual result that you would get in the market. And that's something that's a huge challenge. But if you are a part of the course that we'll conduct on PineScript in June or July, you'll be able to figure out how to handle some of those in your own strategies. So, so that's where I leave it. But yes, if you are using any of the community script, just be careful about this term called repainting. Basically, in the live market, that particular entry and exit will not show up, but as soon as the market closes, you will see a completely different entry and exit, which will probably give you the highest profit, which will impact your backtest result, but not really help you in actually using that in the market. So TradingView also has certain profiles, which is fixed range volume profile. These are a few things that you can, sorry, not fixed range, let's see, visible range volume profile. So these are few tools that you can use. Volume profile is again another technical tool that people use. And this comes up over here. Again, not going into the volume profile, but I'm just showing you how to plot some of those. It also now shows the different patterns. So if your chart has any chart pattern, like if I say all chart patterns, it will show different chart patterns that are currently forming on the chart. So you can just click on that, and if this is a chart pattern that you trade, then it can very easily be plotted on TradingView. So chart pattern, if there's a specific chart pattern that you trade, you can select the specific chart pattern from here. But for right now, I just selected all chart patterns, and all of them will come up over here. So, okay, so with that, let me just remove everything and come to what is the difference between indicator and a strategy. Now, typically when you're looking at a strategy, the key is that the strategy has entry and exit signals. The indicator is just a drawing on the chart. It can be based on anything. Based on that, you decide whether you want to buy or not. But the strategy actually has a buy or a sell trigger on the chart. So suppose somebody is using a MACD strategy, okay, versus an MACD line. So let's MACD indicator. So if I just look at MACD, the indicator, okay, So this is the MACD indicator, which we have seen, when I picked it up the last few times. So this is what MACD is showing you. But if I select MACD strategy, I remove the MACD indicator over here. What it is doing is that based on what, actually, let's keep MACD over here. Okay, so this is the indicator. This is the strategy. Now, depending on how it's been coded, as soon as the MACD is going down, it is taking a sell signal. As it's going up, it is taking a buy signal. It's taking a sell signal over here. Again, a buy signal, probably went down a little bit and then exited over here. So depending on how it has been coded, it would actually take buy and sell signals that you can actually see on the chart. The way to use it is you pick up a strategy that you'd want to use. Okay, so this is the MACD strategy. You plot that on the chart. Okay, you can select from a strategy that TradingView has given, or you can just do strategy over here. And let me just pick up something that pivot point. Okay, let's pick up pivot point super trend. Okay, this one. Okay, now you can plot that over here. Let me remove MACD. Let's stay with this one and remove MACD over here also. So now I have two strategies that are plotted on the chart. The first one is MACD strategy, which gives you buy and sell signals. Okay, and there's another strategy called pivot point. So let's stay with one of them. I'm staying with pivot point. And what is this all about? So, if there is a particular strategy, and you can build your own strategies also. You can see there's a buy signal over here, there's a sell signal, there's an exit signal, there's another buy, sell. What you can do with a strategy is you can use the strategy tester at the bottom. Now, what this is showing you is that based on the strategy that you plotted, what is the performance of that strategy? So every time if you've taken a buy over here, which means that the price was above this thing called a super trend, then you've purchased that particular security. If the prices come over here, you've sold that security, purchased it, sold it, probably gone short somewhere over here. Yeah, gone short over here, and then exited over here again. So every time it turns green, you've exited. Every time it turns red, you're shorting that particular market. The bottom over here will show you over a period of time, 114 trades, what has that strategy done? So it has resulted in a profit of 170,000 rupees. It's not USD. You can change the currency yourself. How many trades it has taken? What is the percentage profitability that it had? The profit factor, the drawdown. So a lot of the stats will come up directly over here. So you can just go to the strategy tester, see what is the performance of the strategy that you've plotted. You can look at the performance summary, the net profit, gross loss, maximum run up, run down. You can also look at the total number of open trades, total number of closed trades that were there, and average time that you spent in each of those trades. So these are stats that you can use to figure out what is the strategy that you want to deploy, what is the strategy that you want to use. And you can also compare different strategies. So like if I was looking at the MACD strategy, then MACD strategy is actually resulting in a loss in this particular security, which is Kotak Bank. And if I look at stats over here, net profit, gross profit, it is not a profitable strategy. So I'll probably not use this one. I will go ahead and use the pivot point strategy. I can look at the list of trade. When did it enter? When did it exit? I can also download this data using this button over here, which can export the data. Again, it will come up in a CSV file that we can use to, just one second. It will come up in a CSV file that we can then use to then further figure out what is the price at which it entered, where it exited, what was the maximum run up, and basically it will help you plot that same data in an Excel format. So all your exit data, your performance summary, all of that can be taken into Excel using this particular button over here. And then properties basically has what is the date range. If there is something that you have over here in settings, you can probably use those buttons to change some of these property settings over here, which we will discuss in a little bit. So that's about strategy versus indicator. Now, the other thing that you need to know is how is it that you can change the settings? Sorry. Okay. So what happens is that we've seen till now how we can remove a particular strategy that's already been plotted. But at the same time, you can click over here and look at the settings. Now, depending on what are the settings that you can change, you can go to any of these tools, any of the indicators or the strategies, and probably say instead of 9 days, I want a 20-day moving average. So you can change that by clicking on this button over here. Similarly, I can hide this. I go to this particular strategy and then click on the settings. I can change the pivot point period. I can change the ATR factor. Again, this will help you figure out, if you're using a strategy, is a 2 pivot point period giving you a better profit? If I change it to 10 pivot points, then what happens? Okay, now I can look at it over here and see my profit does not change significantly. If I change the ATR factor from 3 to 2, let's see what happens. Okay, the profit changes a little bit. If I change the ATR factor to 7, it doesn't change it much. If I change the source to only close, okay, this changes the net profit. So typically when you're doing research, trying to figure out what strategy works, it's also helpful to understand how to change some of the input parameters, which you can do by clicking on this over here, and then coming up with this particular box, which will then tell you how to change some of the values. Okay, so it's about 12 o'clock, 11:58 by my watch. Let's take a few minutes break, and I'll come back at 12:05 and